everyone, my name is Chance Brunton and welcome back to StarCraft II Wings of Liberty campaign. In the last mission we got the prophecy Zeratul uncovered, deciphered by four seers or something, preservers on Zakul, I believe it was. But anyway, they told us that everything was going to end in utter darkness and begin with the Great Hungerer. And that there would be destruction. Oh, sorry for bumping mic. There'd be destruction in between. So we figure that the Great Hungerer that was mentioned in the prophecy is probably the Overmind who controlled the Zerg before the Queen of Blades, and the Overmind was killed on the old Protoss homeworld of Ire after it was overrun by the Zerg. So now Zeratul is going back to the old Protoss homeworld of Ire to find what remains of the Overmind, and try and learn what he can about how this all started, and hopefully how it will all end. And we've got some good research opportunities.
I remember the fall of Ire. Don't much like the idea of having to see it all again. Guess there's nothing for it.
At the very apex of its victory against us, the Zerg Overmind grew overconfident. Now, all that was left of the mighty Overmind was a twisted, withered husk. I needed to understand whatever memories lingered within the creature's rotting mass. Only by making contact with the gargantuan tendrils connected directly to its cortex could I learn its secrets. Yet its countless minions, which seemed to be feeding from its dead husk, would prove somewhat problematic.
Okay. So the Overmind is dead, so it can't tell us anything directly, but that does not mean that it has no tales to tell. We can still read its mind, apparently. Flying units are effective at exploring the map and identifying threats before your army arrives. Okay, so maybe we'll get some flying units in this map. Oh yeah, I think we'll get some observers.
I must find a way to establish a foothold and summon reinforcements to keep the Zerg at bay. Honor command.
This is an observer.
Ah, this faithful observer has kept watch since the evacuation. Its abilities will certainly prove useful now.
So the observer is a flying detector, very much like the Zerg Overseer, except that it is also permanently cloaked, and that's all it does, is fly around, observe invisible things, or visible things too, and stay cloaked and hidden. Like other cloaked units, it's possible to see these units, like Zeratul and the Observer, if you have, well, first of all, if you have a detector, but second of all, human players could also just barely make it out.
Some of these abandoned structures remain functional. We shall make use of them.
Okay, so we're going to take over this abandoned
This
base.
ancient beacon still thrums with power. I wonder... I've heard tales of the mighty colossi sealed away beneath Ire. The beacon must have awoken these fearsome guardians. The Zerg perceive a threat to their dead master.
Great, they're entrenching. So we've seen the Colossi before, but from the receiving end of their devastating laser beams. This time, they're working for us.
The Zerg will keep coming until we are dead. I must find the Overmind's cortex and discover what I can from it.
So we need to power this base again, very much like the other episode. We can see our main objectives in the upper left-hand corner. Bring Zeratul to the Overmind tendrils, which also gives us research, as well as allowing him to find out what the Overmind knows. And we had to reach this nexus, but I mean, we've already done that. That's kind of trivial, so we don't have to worry about that. And Zeratul must survive.
If we use our observers wisely, we can scout the area before putting ourselves at risk.
Now, before, when we had spore crawlers to deal with, we were just using Zeratul, so the spore crawlers weren't much of a concern, other than the fact that they can detect. But now they are more of a concern because we have these observers, and the other thing spore crawlers do is they're anti-air. So the spore crawler is going to try and shoot down our observer if it gets into range, not just see the observer. So we need to, first and foremost, always build up our base.
We must be prepared to defend our base. The Zerg are on the move.
So defense is the first priority, and the Colossi are going to help with that as our photon cannons. Going to move this probe a little further up. The further up we can move these probes, the better. Not probe, sorry, the observer. The further up we can move the observer, the better, because then it gives us a little bit more forewarning about when the Zerg are going to come to attack. So let's just move it up about as far as we can right now. And similarly, we're already scouting with an observer. Where are all our free observers? We have free... Oh, we only have 2 free observers. Okay. I'm not sure if I mentioned this in the last episode, by the way, but the Protoss cannot repair structures of any kind in any way. So if a structure's health gets damaged, then that's permanent damage. That's another reason why shields...
The Zerg seek to overwhelm us. To arms, my brethren.
Shields are so important.
Weigh heavily. Shozak Maknul.
Now, what direction is the Zerg coming from? Looking at the mini-map in the lower left-hand corner, we're looking for movements of purple towards our base, which is the bright green color. And I see no purple movement. Oh, from the north! And from the... Oh, they're coming from both ways. Those little red marks show where those Nidus worms are popping up. So we need to quickly take those out if possible to reduce the amount of damage that the Zerg can do. Oh, we really didn't have the forces to take it out in time, so that's okay. But just keep building up our forces. We repelled the attack for now, and we just need to make sure we have more troops before next time. Now, one thing that I mentioned in the previous episode that we did not have access to because tutorial, but I said that normally barracks could be made to warp in units. That's called converting them to a gateway. That's what I just did to this structure. So this started as a normal gateway, and it transformed into a warp gate. Excuse me, that is the correct terminology. It starts as a gateway, becomes a warp gate. A warp gate is right here in front of me, and it allows me to warp in units, although I can't demonstrate that just yet because I must first construct additional pylons, apparently. So I will dot a few pylons around my base. Notice that I'm placing pylons, doubling them up in various places where they're powering defenses, or more when I need to build pylons just for the sake of supply. The reason for that is it adds layers of redundancy. It means that you can't do what I was trying to do to the Protoss when I was fighting them in earlier missions, and just run up and snipe the pylon and make sure everything can't be powered. So next step, build more troops, and oh, I can warp in some stuff. So see here in this little blank area, I will warp in 3 zealots. I can warp units anywhere there's power, so it's good to put pylons various places around the map so that they allow for more warping to take place. And warping is also faster because the cooldown on how quickly you can warp in units is less than the amount of time it would take to build the units by traditional methods. course, one problem with this is that you can't queue up additional units. If you're good at managing things, then you shouldn't have to queue any units ever. If you're bad, like me, then you sometimes do anyway. One reason it's not a good idea is usually because you don't want to invest the units before you can actually be building.
Zerg seek to overwhelm our base.
Because you could be using those resources for something else valuable in the meantime. So you generally want to wait to build something until you actually can build it rather than just queuing it up. Because when you go to queue it up, you have to spend the resources in advance, but it doesn't actually help you in any way until you get the units built. So now let's try and focus down the Nidus Worm, because that will reduce the amount of units coming towards us significantly. That helps.
On command.
We're not gonna. I don't think we'll be able to snipe that other Nidus Worm in time, but we got one. That helped. Defenses are looking a little barren, so we're gonna need to take care of that. What do we need for Tier 2 upgrades, though? For Tier 2 upgrades, we need a Twilight Council. So that's another building that we had started with before, but we'll have to build it this time. Twilight Council. It also means that we'll be able to get some upgrades for our infantry units that are useful. Like right now, our Stalkers start with Blink, and our Zealots start with Charge. So actually, what I just said is wrong, because our units already have those special ability upgrades, but normally your Stalkers would not start with the ability to blink, and your Zealots would not start with the ability to charge at the enemy, which just gets them up into the fray quickly, and just increases movement speed when they're rushing towards the enemy, basically. Normally your units would not start with those abilities, but you'd have to research it from the Twilight Council. We, for the purposes of this mission, started with it, so we don't have to worry about that. So that's fine. Twilight Council also allows us to build the Templar Archives and the Dark Shrine, which in the last mission we just took over. But in this mission we would have to build them. They allow us to build Dark Templars and High Templars. So they are pretty handy to have. Though I may or may not end up dealing with them. Probably won't deal with the High... Well... High Templar's Psionic Storm is pretty useful. But... I don't know, it's just... I might want to focus my resources on building other things. That's something that, if you're a bad player, you do, but... So, like, yeah. I mean, it would be better to build the High Templar. I probably should. But I'm not particularly great with them.
Upgrade complete.
I'm building a line of cannons behind our base here just to protect us from attacks from the rear, just in case. When I get some more resources, I will continue to buff up the defenses out in front of us. In fact, I think if I tell the army to come up this path here, I can collect some minerals to help fund the development of more defenses. So build more photon cannons. If I can select a probe competently, which is apparently very much a struggle. So add 3 more cannons to the north. I'll need some more cannons on this side too. First I'll build a pylon to kind of extend the range of energy, and then put down another cannon. And probably just push out with this army a little bit.
The Zerg are coming.
But the Zerg are coming. What direction? Both?
We must not.
Checking the mini-map, look in the lower left-hand corner. Always important in StarCraft to keep an eye on that lower left-hand corner of the map, because it shows where everybody is roughly, so you know where your attention should be.
My allegiance.
Again, we are in bright green, and the Zerg are in purple, so we're looking for purple masses moving towards light green on the map to tell us the Zerg are coming. And of course, red flashing things are always something you should investigate. In this case, they tell us where Nidus worms are popping up.
We must.
Alright, so the army is back in time to be able to help deal with that threat. We'll warp in some additional units to join our forces, and then we will move back to the north. Now, research opportunities for this mission. Let's take a look at that, shall we? The research, we can get research by powering obelisks, so we need to find obelisks. We can power up a robotics facility here that will allow us to build additional Colossi. Robotics facility? Robotics Bay, I think. This is a robotics facility. This building is an obelisk. So when we power that, then we will be able to get some research. And there's a warp gate up here. So I'll just come up with this probe and power these structures. Also, with this pylon here, we can warp some forces in much closer to our army. That is one of the many beautiful things about warp gates. Is just being able to send units up right to the front line. Now, we could be... I'm just kind of pushing forward. We could be taking better advantage of the high ground here. We could be taking better advantage of the high ground off to the left. This by putting stalkers on top of it and then firing out.
We were trapped within the gate's energy matrix when it was deactivated. You have our thanks.
I keep accidentally selecting these observers from a distance and calling them when I don't want them. I want to leave them where they are. Okay, so we got a High Templar anyway. That's nice. We need more gateways. We just got an additional gateway, so what we really need are more zealots. And from this robotics facility, we can build Immortals and Colossus. I'd say Colossus are probably the most important thing for us right now. And we can queue up additional upgrades when we have enough minerals.
My calling.
What's the next thing to do? Okay, I know what the next thing to do is. So first, we should gather up all these stray resources.
Our base falls under a shadow. The Zerg will attack soon.
Notice how the Colossi here can just walk up and down the cliff because they're so tall. It's an amazing ability.
Mineral field depleted.
So let's retreat back to our base for now. Or in fact, let's kill those guys. Oh, here come the Zerg. Okay, we're probably going to lose all of these outlying structures because it's probably just not worth defending them, so I should rebuild some of them down in our defended base. Oh, the banelings! Those rolling sacks of acid that destroy buildings and light biological units. Oh, the horror. They've just decimated a lot. Alright, so now the next step is that we're going to want to navigate to this tendril here. And part of the reason for that is that there's some minerals nearby, so we can set up another mining base, because our mining base at home here is getting kind of low. And while our army is doing that, we can just come back and rebuild some vital structures that we have captured in outlying areas. We can rebuild them in the confines of our base so that we don't lose them. Just the ones we really want. And I thought I sent the army up to come clear this area out. Alright, there we go. And where's that builder probe? Where's the idle probe? Oh no, I sent him to mine, so he's not idle anymore. I'll send him up here to build a new nexus. So this will be our expansion where we can get more minerals from. And he'll also need to build some pylons to power this gateway and obelisk, getting some research and some additional production, and just generally allowing us to build a second base up here on the high ground. And then we'll transfer probes from our first base up here when this nexus is ready.
The first Overmind tendril. I sense pain, surprise, death.
Okay, I'm pretty sure we were all expecting that, considering that the Overmind is dead. We would expect death. And if you're looking through its memories, it'll have memories of having died, which one would assume would be filled with pain and suffering. So, like, that's very much to be expected. You realize that. Alright, let's, oh, there's a load of overlords here providing supply to the Zerg. Let's use an overseer, an observer to scout out a little bit.
Weigh heavily.
To see what's up ahead.
The Zerg are massing near our base.
Just a lot of infested Zerg and stuff. And oh, the observer's getting shot. Oh, it died. Oh, it's fine. We don't really need scouting that much.
Fulfill my calling.
Scouting is something you should do
Honor
because it's just a great idea. But I don't have much of a patience, and I have a powerful army. However, now I think we do have to retreat back. Actually,
Honor commands.
because we don't have adequate defenses to deal with this. We're getting overrun in our base in the north. Shoot down that Nidus worm. And shoot down all these guys. We got attacked from behind over here. Oh, those Ultralisks are ripping everything apart, but thankfully we did have some cannons back there, so it's done something to protect our base. It's just not quite enough. That was actually pretty devastating, so let's clear out this Zerg from back here. And let's reset up our defenses a little bit. One thing I want to do is, since this is the mining base up here, I want to make sure to set up some good defenses. For the mining base. And then maybe a pylon for some defenses down here on the low ground. And then over here, at our main base, we just kind of need to rebuild the defenses protecting the production infrastructure and all of that, so that we don't lose it. Want to make sure we cover the back of our base as well as the front. And our army is ready to go. We need more minerals, and we need more troops. We can add this gateway to our production facilities, though. And we just generally need more stuff. We're running a little short on resources. Probably could be managing resources better, but we could be picking up more resources with our army. That would help things considerably. So let's add like a couple of zealots to our army now while we can. And we should build a pylon by this robotics facility just for good measure, so that we have it.
Be redeemed.
And then just kind of keep pushing forward. Oh, we have 2 Colossus up here that we're not using. Should totally get them. Let's retreat back, or actually, let's kill this mining facility real quick. Actually, no, let's retreat back, because we don't have a lot of great defenses at home. In fact, we have virtually no defenses at home. And we apparently need more stalkers to deal with the Mutalisks in the air. Okay, we're about to lose some stuff, but it's fine. The outlying structures are distracting the Zerg. We'll build some more stalkers.
My burdens weigh heavy.
And we need to, again, buff some of our defenses.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
Let's mostly focus on the behind defenses, because right now we have our army protecting the front. No, the Colossus died. That's unfortunate. But oh, look at the damage those Colossus are capable of wreaking. Let's get armor upgrade level 2. And yeah, just transfer some we're now completely depleted of resources down in that base, so we can just focus on the northern base and continue to set up defenses, other than protecting our infrastructure. Of course, we want to protect that, definitely, but we don't have to worry about having probes from mining anything down there. We are really low on zealots to just be our frontline guys absorbing damage. So we should probably get some zealots up here. Let's blink our stalkers onto the high ground, because that's really useful to have them up there. And then let's blink them down on the low ground, because they're too far away to really do a lot. Shouldn't really have gotten them that close to the Ultralisks, though, because the Ultralisks do have splash damage, but it's fine. Also, we have all of the Protoss research that was available from the obelisks.
Overmind tendril. I sense death and joy.
So that's at least part of the research we need completed, and the rest we just get for completing the main objective anyway, which is visiting all the tendrils. so that's fine.
Honor commands. The Zerg seek to overwhelm our base. End our deed.
So that means that we're doing pretty well. And we're moving out across the map. We're annihilating a lot of Zerg. I think we'll probably have to rush to our base. Now, another beauty of the warp gates is that we can warp in some reinforcements here to our base to help defend it a little bit. Probably could have used the reinforcements over here, but thankfully we have some fallback cannons on the high ground. Those cannons aren't going to hold off forever, but they'll buy just enough time for our troops to get up here and do some damage. And of course, we can rebuild. Yeah, so we're doing pretty good on our objectives. Just have to visit the next 2 tendrils. We're holding out our base defense pretty well. What's that over there? Just some random island of stuff that we can reach with our Colossus. It's fine. Yeah, these zealots tend to die a lot more than everything else because they have to run up into the action, so they need replacing a bit more frequently. So let's just get some more of those guys. In fact, it might be a nice idea to get a forward pylon we can warp to. That's what it's called when you put a pylon up expressly. Oh, Zeratul about to die. Get Zeratul out of there. Oh, I was not paying close enough attention to Zeratul. That's something I need to be worried about. Okay. So, keep Zeratul back so that he can't inadvertently get killed. That's the only way we could really lose this mission, is if Zeratul gets killed because of my incompetence. So, I need to be very careful to avoid that. Alright, we've cleared out most of the way, so let's maybe bring Zeratul up now, I think. Take out this detection for good measure. And where's our pylon? Our probe to build the pylon. Let's come up here and build a pylon there, so that we can warp in some reinforcements to it.
It shall be as you say.
And let's bring Zeratul over to the thing.
The third Overmind tendril. I sense satisfaction in a plan set in motion long ago. And fear of the future.
Okay. Well, Zeratul was sensing the fear of the future. We managed to clear the way.
The Zerg are coming.
Mineral field depleted.
And we don't have to worry about defending the next one because we've just beat the mission.
The fourth Overmind tendril. I sense an end. I must go to the Overmind cortex to understand.
I think we finished the mission. I don't think we have to do that. No, okay, good.
Greetings, brother. I speak to you from the beyond. Tassadar. But you died, slaying this cursed Overmind. I have never tasted death, Zeratul, nor shall I. But that is a tale for another time. I have come to tell you of this creature's courage. Courage? It was an abomination. Not always. The Zerg were altered. A single overriding purpose was forced upon them. The destruction of our people. The Overmind was formed with thought and reason, but not free will. It screamed and raged within the prison of its own mind. Who did this? Why? I know not, but the Overmind found found a way to resist its all-consuming directive. It created a chance, a hope of salvation. The Queen of Blades.
Madness.
You see, she does have free will.
Only she can free the Zerg from slavery, and in so doing, save all that is from the flame.
I do not understand, brother.
Forget what you know, Zeratul. The Overmind saw a vision. The end of all things. And now, you must see it too.
No. This vision. I cannot bear it. Stop.
So the Overmind got rid of it got through its entrapment by creating another who was not subjected to the same constraints that the Overmind had. This new leader of the Zerg would be able to take it down any path. Hyperion Cantina, 2302 shipboard time. Alright, so let's take a look at what we have available.
Nuke Noodles. Call down the flavor.
Is it just a quick ad for Nuke Noodles? Okay. Reminds me, I could go for some ramen, but... Alright.
You know, I've been watching the logs. Those damn Protoss are still way ahead of us. I can't believe some of the stunts they can pull off.
Tell me about it. They've learned some new tricks since the last time we fought.
I mean, come on. Since when could they warp in guys just anywhere? I thought they needed some kind of gateway at least.
Not just anywhere. They need a pylon or another power source close by. Still, they've been working to improve their tech, just like us.
Yeah, that's still extremely powerful, though. So do we have new upgrades? Oh, we do have new upgrades available. Fire suppression systems, which automatically repair structures and put fires out when they're below 50% life. Or Orbital Command Center, which is pretty powerful. It calls down miners to gather resources and can reveal areas, and it can do lots of things, actually. Well, mostly those. But we don't have credits for it anyway, so it's something we'll have to consider in future. But those are nice upgrades. I wonder if we got those because of lab tech. What else is available? Anything on the bridge? Matt, you got something to say? Yes, you do.
Damn, Matt. I don't even know what to make of this last vision from the crystal. Zeratul was looking for more clues about the end of the universe. But this time, he was on Ire.
Ire. What was he looking for?
He was trying to find out why the Overmind made the Queen of Blades in the first place.
She's the one that's gonna destroy the universe?
No. That's just it. I think she's the only one that can save it.
Dun, dun, dun. Well, that's a bit of a problem, if she's the only one who can save it, considering she's trying to destroy it. But there's still more we don't know.
Now, friend Raynor, you must see the Overmind's vision of the future. The end of my people, and of all things. This is our fate, should Kerrigan die.
So remember, the prophecy said that everything would begin with the Great Hungerer and end in utter darkness. And so our next mission is in utter darkness. Objective: witness the coming apocalypse. And for us, personally, it's also an objective to get 3 Protoss research and 3 Zerg research. But for the story purposes, witness the coming apocalypse. So we'll have to get to that in the next episode. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time.
Oh look, by repeatedly spam clicking everything, I get monkeys.
So I'm pretty sure that there's a monster back there. Oh, he's right there! Oh God, I ran the wrong way! I ran the wrong way! Oh. That could have saved me about 100 times right now. Oh. Why?